To Chicago, where the Dodgers and Cubs get ready to play two after the rain out yesterday. This road trip begins here at Wrigley Field. Welcome to Saturday Baseball on Sportsnet LA, brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's the Dodgers and the Cubs, and after a miserable weather day yesterday caused the cancellation, light blue skies above, 54 degrees, and a gorgeous day to play a doubleheader. Welcome inside. Hope you're having a great weekend. Joe Davis and Dontrelle Willis, who we welcome to Dodger broadcasts. And you picked a good one to start on because Clayton Kershaw takes the ball for the Dodgers today.
Listen, bottom line, I'm honored to be with you. I'm honored to be here at the beautiful confines of Wrigley Field and seeing one of the game's best pitchers in Clayton Kershaw. Listen, a 30-2 K to walk ratio. I expect that to continue, especially with this Cubs lineup where they like to take pitches. He's going to get ahead and stay ahead and put a lot of guys away.
Against a Cubs lineup, like you mentioned, that has really struggled. So it's Kershaw for the Dodgers, Drew Smyly for the Cubs. First pitch of game one of this doubleheader coming up on Sportsnet LA. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's $5.99 popcorn chicken combos with 100% all-white meat chicken and Jack's Good sauce. Order now on the Jack app or have it delivered. Back here in Chicago, where the rain is cleared out of the area, one of the only sunny days they've had all season, and it is bright and sunny here at Wrigley Field. We go down to the field. Here's Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, with today's doubleheader, we will see a little bit of lineup changes between the first and the second game. Here in the first one, with Clayton Kershaw on the mound, Austin Barnes will be catching. Dave Roberts also likes Gavin Lux in there with that lefty-lefty matchup. We've got JT playing at third base. In the second game, however, JT will be the DH, and we'll see Hanser Alberto in there for Gavin Lux. And then with, of course, Tyler Anderson on the mound, we'll see Will Smith catching in that game, guys.
All right, Kirsten, as Mookie Betts gets ready to lead things off for the Dodgers, comes in with a 6-game hitting streak. You slowly started to see him take off. He's really gotten it going the last few.
Absolutely, especially him getting his top hand strong. We hear about him talking about that, but staying in the center of the field, as you can see the spray chart. Not trying to roll over and generate power, but just letting the pitches come and squaring up the baseball. His importance in the top of the lineup. They're 12-2 when he gets a base hit, 11-4 when he scores a run. So the star-studded lineup still needs a table setter, and that's Mookie Betts.
Rest of the lineup looks like this. Freddie Freeman hits second, then Trey Turner and Justin Turner. Muncy DHs, as Kirsten mentioned. Taylor in left, Bellinger in center, then Barnes and Lux. First pitch of the day from Drew Smyly. Misses down and away. Off we go with ball one on Betts. It's the 5th start for Smyly, who didn't give up a run over his first 2 starts, but over his last 2, he's given up 6 runs. 4 home runs in those 2 games.
Lack of command with the fastball already. You're seeing that right now. He's trying to fill the zone. And with this talented lineup, you don't have a chance to breathe and see your pitches go across the plate because Mookie Betts gets in a hitter-friendly count. Freddie Freeman gets in a hitter-friendly count. You're going to be backing up some bases very quickly.
We saw that Dodger offense really come to life on Wednesday. Final game against the Giants. Scored 9 runs on 11 hits and 4 walks. On a 2-1 pitch, Betts takes low, ball 3.
Not a better team to beat up on, too.
Picked a good time for it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely sent a message across the diamond to those men in Northern California that we're not messing around this year.
Betts leading this one off. Count goes full.
There's some guys in this lineup that have had some success against Drew Smyly. So, as a pitcher, when you remember that, you pitch a little tighter on the mound and try to pitch perfect, and oftentimes find yourself in hitter-friendly counts.
And Betts is one of those guys. He has 2 home runs and 3 doubles in his career against Drew Smyly, who had made a few good starts against the Dodgers over the first few years of his career. Then last year at Dodger Stadium, gave up 4 home runs in 4 innings, including one to this guy. On a 3-2 again. Betts, check swing foul, do it again.
His plate coverage, the pitch recognition is getting better and better. You saw in the beginning of the season, he was chasing out of the zone, swinging through pitches in the zone, and he's looking back like, man, I thought my eyes were on that. And now you just see him calm. So as the weather gets a little better, he gets a little warmer as well.
8th pitch of the at-bat. Inside, and he starts the day with a walk.
Table setter. You have to be that guy, and that's the biggest thing with this lineup is trusting each other and taking the pitches. You know what I mean? If it's not something that you like, trust the next man up to knock you in.
Next man up is Freddie Freeman.
It's a bad man right here.
Uses the opposite field as much as anybody, and something he's always done, but is doing more than ever here in 2022.
Guys hit over 300 5 of the last 6 seasons, and when you see a guy that hits 300, this is a guy that uses the whole field and has power to all fields. So he trusts his hand and his eye coordination, and he's one of the best in the world to do it.
He takes ball 1 from Smiley, his teammate with the Braves last year. I mean, this is no fun for a starting pitcher, and we talk about this all the time, but the night before, you're getting ready, you're going to bed, and you're looking and you're seeing that's how it's going to start. I got to face Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman to start the day.
And Drew already is looking like he doesn't have command of the breaking ball or the fastball. And again, we already talked about it, putting guys in hitter-friendly counts. Now all of a sudden that plate gets real small. And I've been on the mound where it's like I got to throw on over the plate. But when the hitters are aggressive and they keep seeing pitches from you, they get more confidence. So expect Freddie to give a good pass on this fastball right here.
It's 2-1.
Trying to use the aggression to get the hitter out. You know, slow the tempo down for Drew. Try to get a ground ball, but I don't know why they ship on Freddie, especially seeing the spray chart. You know, he's able and has the talent to hit the ball the other way, but that's their problem, not ours.
On this 2-1, Freeman watches ball 3. Yeah, if you're not going to play straight up on him, who are you going to play straight up on these days? Betts at first, started the game with a walk. On a 3-1, Freeman takes a strike and the count is full.
Smiley looks like he's got a little cut to that fastball today, you know, so hoping that guys get overly aggressive and hit the top half of the baseball. You see the target from Contreras right there. They want that ball down. Can't live upstairs, especially with this talented lineup. This ball can fly out here in a hurry.
Oh, and that has always been the issue for Smiley. You mentioned the 4 home runs that he gave up to the Dodgers last year. Gave up 27 total, and he's already given up 4 this year. Back-to-back full counts to start the day. Betts takes his lead as the payoff comes home, and Freeman bangs one to right center field that'll get down for a base hit and send Betts to third. Freeman headed for second. He'll get there. The ball kicks away. Betts comes in to score. Freeman headed for third. He's in there safely. And it's already 1-0.
I just love his approach. You know, staying in the center of the field, hitter-friendly count, squares up the baseball. That's the type of pitch where if you try to overswing and pull that ball, you might roll it over on the ground, hits it right back up the center. And look at the MVP hustling. 2 former MVPs.
I was going to say which one.
Yeah, exactly. 2 former MVPs setting the table. And when your dugout sees something like that, it's a jolt. And you're already hearing Freddie's chants in Chicago. I mean, this is how much impact he's already had in his short time in a Dodger uniform.
Tone quickly set for this doubleheader. 1-0 Dodgers before Smiley gets an out, and Trey Turner watches ball 1. And Drew Smiley saying, really?
But see, that's the problem when you're erratic. The umpire doesn't give you those borderline calls, so you have to reestablish that you throw strikes. But again, another hitter-friendly count for Trey.
2-0 on him.
Ooh, I would like to have that one, especially in my home ballpark. Absolutely, you need that one, especially when you're already struggling. You feel like you're already on the ropes. You're trying to get out to settle yourself down, and he's not even close to the strike zone. A little of a coin toss right there with that call.
That one went his way, so 2-1. Trey Turner. Yep, and it tends to even out, and it has here. 2-2.
But Trey's one of the best at hitting, even behind the count, ahead of the count. He never seems overzealous to reach out and try to chase something. He understands what his strike zone is and what he can cover.
Seeing nothing but soft stuff so far, and so far this year that's been more and more the theme with him. He's hitting just 190 against non-fastballs. Turned it up with a heater there, but it misses outside, and Smiley's gone full on all 3 hitters.
Yeah, you're living on the edge right there, especially living above the belt line. There's a term us pitchers use, live low, live long. So he's got to establish down in his zone or he's going to be in trouble all day long.
That is foul. He's already thrown 21 pitches and still looking for his first out. This is not a guy who has gone deep into games. Part of that has been lack of efficiency, like you're seeing again here. But the most pitches that he's thrown is 83, and he's already a quarter of the way there.
Yeah, that puts your bullpen in a bind because now you're going to have to piece together maybe 5 or 6 guys to finish the game. So right now you got to stay tough and execute.
You got to chase here for the first out. And it's not just this game. You got 2 games you got to cover.
Right, absolutely. But that was the best pitch he's thrown thus far. Nasty changeup right there. Traced on the top half of the baseball, tried to off-right, and the bottom dropped out. Now the heart rate comes down. The heart rate comes down. You know, he's like, all right, I know my release point and where I need to attack, but it's still not over. We had JT at the plate.
Turner had a base hit late in the game on Wednesday to snap a long 0 for drought. Had the home run to start the homestand and went 0 for 15. Infield pulled in here as Turner takes strike 1.
Notoriously a slow starter, and I think he understands that, but I see in his face already there's a little bit of urgency to try to get going and really be a factor in this lineup, especially with the power.
0-2. First hitter that Smiley's gotten ahead of. Drew Smiley in his 9th year with his 7th team. It's actually his 2nd stint with the Cubs. He was here in 2018 rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. Made 1 appearance in the minors for him. Never did pitch in the big leagues for the Cubs, but he's bounced from the Tigers to the Rays to the Phillies to the Rangers, Giants, Braves last year. It's a swinging bunt back to him. 2 gone, and Freeman still at 3rd.
Yeah, Drew always had command of the breaking ball. You know, it changes eye level, obviously a changeup, but he had more velocity. And he spent 2 years out of baseball because of Tommy John surgery. So he's got to kind of reinvent himself and learn how to pitch with the velocity that he currently has now. So it's a little bit difficult because you have to pitch fine, especially with 88 miles an hour. You feel like you can't miss over the heart of the plate and get as much soft contact as you want to.
You know, what's interesting is he's inducing soft contact as much as anybody,
right?
As he's reinvented himself and faces Muncy here with 2 gone, and he's in there with strike 1.
See, that's the effect of it, though. That they're thinking that something soft is going to come in, and all of a sudden 87 looks like 97. So he's slowing the hitter down, and he's starting to feel that he can command the strike zone with his release point.
Here's his 0-1. That is that unique curveball of his that he throws almost half the time. League hitting around 200 against it.
That's what I call a whooper duper. You know what I mean? It slows you down, it changes your eye level, and the bottom drops out.
2-1. Max Muncy, who was 2 for his previous 27 going into Wednesday. And he went 2 for 4 with a home run. On a 2-1 from Smiley. Takes strike 2. Home run the other way on Wednesday, no less.
Love to see him trust his hands and let the baseball get deep. Some of the quickest hands in all of baseball. You know, no one can throw it by him, but if he trusts and hit the ball the whole field, I think you're going to see more hits from him. And take a page out of Freddie Freeman's book. Trust that you can hit the ball to the left side and be productive. And I think the power numbers will come because there's no ballpark and no angle in baseball that can hold him.
Well, as we've seen so many hitters frustrated by the ball not flying how it usually is. He's a guy who hits a lot of fly balls typically to the middle part of the field, which is
the big man.
Balls are going to die this year. The payoff pitch, he fouls it off, and we'll do it again.
Plate coverage, strike zone awareness, one of the best in all of baseball. He rarely chases balls out of zone, and I think that's where the frustration comes because he feels like he's getting himself in hitter-friendly counts. It's just not dropping for him right now, but he's the type of guy, like a lot of these guys in the lineup, that can carry this team for a month and then get his numbers back up.
Freeman at 3rd, 2 gone. Here's another 3-2, and that's the walk. Second one of the inning issued by Smiley, who had issued 3 all year coming in. But has had full counts to 4 of the first 5 hitters. And now we'll have to face Chris Taylor with runners at the corners. This Cubs team 9-15, dropped 5 of their last 6 games, 11 of their last 14. They're not calling it a rebuild, but complete overhaul of the roster that started at the deadline last year. They sent out Rizzo, they sent out Bryant and Baez. And not too many pieces left from that 2016 championship team.
You know, you look at this roster and you see Suzuki having a hell of a rookie campaign, rookie of the month, but over the last week of games, he's hitting 100. So that's how much he means to this lineup. He literally needs to show up every single day and be a presence. If not, then there's a lot of holes in this lineup, a lot of swing and misses, and I think the opposition is making an adjustment to throw strikes to this team because they came in the season wanting to see a lot of pitches and get a lot of traffic through that route.
2 on 2 out for Chris Taylor. Having a good year so far. First one from Smiley is in the dirt. Good stop by Contreras.
First time I met Chris was on the backfield in spring training, and he hits a ground ball to the second baseman, runs it out hard and beats it.
Backfield spring training.
Listen, coming off his deal and everything like that, I'm taking my sweet time when the money come home, but that showed me a lot about his character and the tone that he wants to set and the way he wants to play baseball.
What a perfect first impression.
Yeah.
And what a great way for him, not meaning to introduce himself like that, but that is him.
Yeah, absolutely. Every world championship caliber team needs a glue guy, a guy that doesn't say much, but by his work ethic and his tone, and every time he comes to the ballpark and giving quality bats, that's what you need.
2-1. Smiley continues to search for it. 35 pitches in this first inning, which is almost halfway to his season high for a game.
Yeah, he's struggling with the command. And listen, he's going up against one of the best lineups in all of baseball, and guys are starting to come into their own. And you always take about 50 or 60 at bats to really get your strike zone awareness, and guys in the lineup right now have that. His tempo is lethargic right now, too. He needs to pick it up. Like to see, take a shot at it right here on this fastball.
Instead gets curveball.
Yeah.
I guess if anybody's going to throw a curveball 3-1, it would be Drew Smiley.
I like that take. That's not the pitch you wanted right there, so don't offer at it. You still feel like you're the aggressor and you can barrel the baseball, and Drew Smiley making his best pitch so far today.
And if you're Drew Smiley, you're looking there at this nightmarish inning. You got a chance to limit the damage to just 1. Here he comes with another 3-2, and he does get out of it with just 1 run allowed. Almost 40 pitches, but the Dodgers get just the 1 run. Clayton Kershaw takes the mound on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Chicago. Coming to bat for the first time against Clayton Kershaw with their manager David Ross. Putting together this lineup, it's Wilson Contreras, the catcher, to lead it off, and then the rookie Seiya Suzuki, Yan Gomes DHs, Patrick Wisdom and Frank Schwindel in the middle of the lineup with Nico Horner, Jonathan Villar at third, Michael Hermosillo in center, and Nick Madrigal, the 9-hitter and second baseman. Clayton Kershaw became the all-time strikeout leader his last time in Dodger history, 2,700 in his career, and this season, Dontrell, 30 strikeouts to just 2 walks.
When I got a chance to meet him in the locker room, I referred to him as GOAT. And he didn't like that, but for good reason. One of the best left-handers of all time in our game and in the game today. I mean, there's importance in the lineup. Him coming in healthy, it's paid off dividends thus far.
Wilson Contreras took a rip at that
I
first
don't blame
pitch.
him. The first one might be the best one, so I understand the game plan.
Here's the 0-1. It's a curve, and it's 0-2 just like that.
The whooper duper. That's my favorite.
The
whooper duper. But I love his arsenal. He's able to throw the slider up and down in his own, change eye level with the breaking ball. And now, look at that. That pitch is illegal in 38 states. I think we need to talk to him about that.
So he went fastball, curveball, and now slider, and it's fouled back.
I mean, this is Clayton Kershaw reinventing himself. He's already in the Hall of Fame, and then he shows up with a changeup. I mean, how obnoxiously good do you have to be? You know what I mean? And his mindset is truly just about winning and being the best for his club. So I'm truly proud to see him still doing it at a high level.
Home with another 0-2. Contreras pulls this curve foul. Contreras has hit Kershaw well, 368, a couple home runs against him in his career. And we were talking with Clayton the other night during the Giants series. He does not love pitching here. The last time he was here, it was the shortest outing of his career.
Right.
May 4th of last year. Went just 1 inning. Although when he saw the Cubs at Dodger Stadium, had a season-high 13 Ks. That's a towering fly ball, but with a wind blowing in, no big deal for Cody Bellinger. 1 gone in the first inning. If Dodger pitchers strike out 10, everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Valid at LA area restaurants. 1 gone first inning, and here is the rookie sensation Seiya Suzuki, who, after playing in just 7 spring training games in his first year here, and then dealing with the April weather at Wrigley, which is not fun to hit in, he was still the National League Rookie of the Month. And he takes strike 1 from Kershaw.
The one thing I see about his game, when they come from Japan, do you think that power and athleticism is going to be able to translate in the big league level? So far, yes, on both. And his ball and bat skills, elite. So he's able to hit the ball over the field. Right now, a little bit of struggle hitting 100 over the last week, but athletically talented, and you could tell his teammates already love him.
On this 1-1 from Kershaw, takes inside ball 2. Last 3 years in Japan, he had more walks than he did strikeouts, to your point about the plate discipline, and those things have shown up already here in the big leagues. Fouls this one back, and it's 2-2. He was an all-star 5 times in 9 years over there, won 5 Gold Gloves. Last year won the batting title, and he hit 38 home runs.
Yeah, he's already shown early in the season that he does have power, especially with the ball up, elevated in the zone. You saw the pass that he took right there, but really intriguing to see this matchup against the Hall of Famer in Clayton Kershaw.
Full count.
And he's going to be the teeth of their lineup. Signed a 5-year deal, so they're really going to bank on him to stay healthy and be productive.
It's a record deal for a Japanese position player. That 5-year deal worth $85 million. So far, so good.
That's called chips with dip. Chips with dip right there.
He draws the, or that's ball 3. Beg your pardon. Oh no. It was ball 4.
Oh, you're right, JD.
Jeez, I shouldn't
we got to respect JD up in here, baby. You're one of the best in the game. Put some respect on my man over here. You had it right the first time. We need to tighten up. We got to follow you.
I love this. You can hang out anytime you want, Dontrelle.
Follow you, baby.
Yeah. So it is the walk, just the 3rd of the year issued by Kershaw. And up comes Yan Gomes, who was also in his first year with the Cubs. Veteran catchers doing the DHing today.
Miami guy, great game caller, and once in a while he can run into a baseball and hit it in the seats.
He's done that one time against Kershaw in his career. He's coming off a few good offensive seasons. Yeah. He was an all-star in 2018 in Cleveland. Then he went to Washington, where won a world championship. And he's a real productive player. Got traded last year to Oakland. And now with the Cubs, drives the ball to right center field. There's Bellinger to track it down. Back to first goes Suzuki. How would you like to have Cody Bellinger playing center field behind you?
His athleticism and route running, even when he doesn't hit, that tells me a lot about his character. He takes pride in being that solid glove, and you can put him in right, left, it does not matter. Takes the calm route, and I love the trust between him and Mookie. You know, and so it's a rhythm out there in that outfield. So been able to win a World Series championship because I've had some of the most talented defensive, and he's one of the best I've seen.
2 gone, Patrick Wisdom.
Oh, got him, coach.
Freddie Freeman will flip it on to the middle, and Gavin Lux tags out Suzuki, who reaches against Kershaw, but then gets picked off. And after 1, the Dodgers lead at 1-0.
By pitch. breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Dodgers.
Hey, now you're in.
Yeah.
Now you got the promo read.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Baptism by promo. Cody Bellinger leads off the second, chops the first one that he sees to Nick Madrigal in short right field. 1 pitch, 1 out for Drew Smyly, who needed 38 pitches to get through the first inning, but a small victory for him in that he allowed just the 1 run because it looked like it was at itself in a hurry.
Absolutely. He was able to execute pitches and really get in tune with his mechanics and his release point. You saw him get more and more confident as he's found the strike zone. But I don't mind Cody chasing that fastball. You know, the pitcher doesn't know what kind of stuff he got so he doesn't reach the plate. So I like that game plan right there.
Here's Austin Barnes catching Kershaw today, taking a strike from Smyly. Barnes 0 for his last 9. This 0-1 pitch. Pokes one to first. Nice play by Schwindel. Gets it in a backhand and beats Barnes to the bag.
Nice athletic move. Looked like a young D. Lee over there, being able to use the backhand, understanding that Smyly is not going to be able to get over there in time. Beats him out at first base.
Your old teammate and then a Cub as well.
One of the most talented at first base I've seen. Athletic. Did some damage in the Cubs uniform.
Here's Gavin Lux with 2 out, taking strike 1.
I'm so proud of the growth that you see in Gavin Lux, the confidence at the plate, you know, working defensively, and then really getting off to a good start.
Quickly 0-2. He's a hit in 4 games in a row after he went 2 for 4 on Wednesday. I think Drew Smyly listened to you when he said he was a little lethargic.
Yeah. You know, as a team that plays a lot of day games, I think that hour earlier kind of snuck up on the ball club. You know, it's a little bit too early.
That is tapped foul.
As far as Gavin Lux, I think when you see him defensively in the past, he would make an error, and I think he would bring that error into his at-bats, and then that's when he started to struggle. But this year, you know, been able to move forward and want the ball again, so you're seeing the growth of him in confidence.
On an 0-2. Takes in the dirt. That's something that he does as well as anybody at this point, is take those pitches. One of the lowest chase rates in baseball. On a 1-2. That's ball 2. Fly ball up into that wind. To come down to Michael Hermosillo. And after the 38 pitch first inning, just 9 pitches in a 1-2-3 second. Did I do that right?
Perfect, JT. Perfect, baby. But I love this call. This is the beginning of a bat. Everybody in the whole ballpark thinks that Clayton Kershaw is going to throw the ball over the plate to get the count going. No, sir. Nice little pickoff. Lullaby him to sleep.
Patrick Wisdom, who's up there when that happened, takes strike 1. Wisdom, 30 years old, and in his 2nd year as a full-time big leaguer. Got his chance last year with the Cubs. Set a Cubs rookie record with 28 home runs.
You know, you think of somebody like that, it's almost like Paul Lo Duca with the Dodgers. You know, spent a ton of time in the minor leagues, about 1,000 at bats, and all of a sudden impactful as soon as they get to be a 30-year-old rookie.
Caught at third by Turner.
One of my favorite teammates all time, Paul Lo Duca, by the way. Yeah, absolutely.
He's doing a little TV, right?
Absolutely. The one guy talks more than I do. So, yeah, doing a hell of a job. Nice pick by JT over there at the hot corner.
For the first out of the 2nd inning, here's Frank Schwindel, who's another one of those guys who got his first opportunity last year, and it was shocking what he did with it. This is a guy, Dontrell, who played in 6 games for the Royals in 2019 and got DFA'd. 2020 didn't play. 8 games with the A's last year, DFA'd again. Signs a minor league deal with the Cubs. Just one of those deals. You're like, oh, who's that guy? Well, then he comes up at the deadline as they trade everybody off. He hits .342 with an OPS above 1,000. Drives this ball in the air to center field. Cody Bellinger waits on it to come down. He was basically Mike Trout for 2 months.
Well, you could tell right there, he one-arms the ball to deep center field, but he's always had that power. The swing and the miss was the problem. So as soon as he started squaring up balls, you saw the confidence in this friendly confines, and all of a sudden he turned into a folk hero overnight over there.
I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel like there is a 0% chance a ball goes out between left center and right center today. I mean, that ball was hit 102, and it was not even near the warning track.
Yeah.
Here's Nico Hoerner. That one's definitely not going out either. Bare hand pickup. Trey Turner throws wide. And, boy, I don't know that that ball is out of play. Hoerner thought that it was, thought that he was granted second. He's out. Got him, coach.
Great heads-up play by Freddie Freeman to not give up on that play and understand the ground rules as well. You know, we always overlook the ground rules at the, road confines, but heads-up play, I love that. That's good baseball at its finest. And that's the difference between a championship team and a team that struggles.
And that's the difference between a 2-out base runner and another 1-2-3 inning. Took for granted that that ball got out of play.
That was a very casual turn at first, too. A little more urgency just until the play plays out. But umpires were on that play. Our side was on that play. Stolen out.
Second time to the lineup for the Dodgers. Here's Mookie Betts. Walked and scored the Dodgers run before Drew Smyly had recorded an out in that first inning.
Starting to see Drew's velocity climb up a little bit, a couple 92s.
Curveball misses, and it's 2-1 on Betts.
Coming off an inning where he threw 7 of 9 strikes, so he's starting to feel that strike zone. And I was a historically slow starter,
within games.
Within games, yeah, absolutely. It took me a minute to find my command and my release point, but if you didn't get me in the first couple innings, I tend to settle in and settle the heart rate, and then really competed how I wanted to.
2-2. Swatted the other way. Base hit for Betts, who's been on both times, and that extends his hitting streak to 7 games.
I had to tell him, JD, hey, stop messing around, man. Be the best player in the game. And athletically, stays behind the baseball, recognizes that it's an off-speed up in the zone. Most people try to charge at that ball and overswing. No, I'm just going to take my knock to right, baby.
So we can thank you for him coming out of it?
I don't want to toot my own horn, but yeah, if you want to send some of that money over to Rondale's house, that'd be pretty nice. I beat him on the golf course one time, so he still owed me a couple dollars.
Here's Freddie Freeman, who doubled Betts home after that walk in the first inning. Smyly deals. Freeman takes in the dirt, ball 1, and we look back at that RBI double.
Staying in the center of the field, trusting your hands and swinging through the baseball. The term you hitters say, hit the ball back up the middle. And if you're able to stay focused on that, listen, you're going to get a ton of hard contact, and he's been doing that his whole career.
One-on-one.
I'd like to see Mookie take off, put some pressure on the defense, make this Cubs lineup play clean baseball, force the issue. Same time, you don't want to take the bat out of Freddie, so you got to pick your spots of the count you want to run on.
Here's 1-1. Freeman takes ball 2. Seen the Dodgers running more this year, and you may see more teams running more if the ball continues to fly the way that it is, and home runs aren't as big a part of the game. As the theory in recent years is that you don't want to run yourself into an out when there's a pretty decent chance the next ball's flying into the seats and you're going to score anyways. But if that ain't happening, every 90 feet, that much more important.
Absolutely. I mean, playing clean defense, and you saw Dave Roberts talk about that in spring training. That was his concern, because our defense was throwing the ball around and not playing clean. But if you force the defense to pitch and catch, and don't get me wrong, Contreras is one of the best throwers of the baseball behind the plate, so you better be confident in your jump, but at the same time, manufacturing runs and getting guys moving. Ooh.
Full count. Come on back, Freddie.
Man got some awards in his house. Got to give him that call. That ball's down.
Betts not running. Freeman swings and misses, and Smiley has his third K. Battling back from a 3-1 count to get him. A frustrating trip back to the dugout for Freeman.
Rarely you see him swing through a ball that you felt that was middle down, that he could square up, but I think he was still a little frustrated from the call. He felt like he should have been on first base, and hitters don't like it when umpires steal at bats from him.
1-on-1 out. Here's Trey Turner. One of those strikeout victims the first time through. Takes first pitch, curve outside, ball one.
Now Drew's thrown Trey 3 breaking balls outer half. Like to see Trey say, okay, this is how they're going to attack me. They're not going to come middle in often unless they want to come off the plate, but stay away, look away.
Stayed soft.
Better pass right there, though. You know, I think he recognized that pitch out the hand. Still, it's just slow enough, you know.
Guy throwing really, really slow to a guy that's really, really fast. And rips it through the left side. Base hit for Trey Turner. First and second for the Dodgers.
He got that base hit strictly on knowledge. He understood already from the first at bat that this is how Drew Smiley is going to attack me. A lot of whooper-doopers, slow breaking balls, a changeup up. And to be honest with you, Drew's lucky that Trey didn't put that ball on the seats. That's the type of pitch where he squares up and shows some power.
The Dodgers with something brewing here as Justin Turner comes to the plate. Grounded back to the mound his first time. Now, one of the things as you dig into the numbers on Turner this year, being down, especially against lefties, he's 2 for 24 against left-handers now. Facing a lefty here and taking a strike.
I love that he opened his stance to give himself more space, especially to cover the ball inner half. But at the same time, your mindset has to believe that guys are not going to come into my power source inner half. So if teams are going to attack me away, there's a lot of hits and a lot of gold out there the other way on the right side of the infield. But it's also nice to see him backspin balls too.
Yep.
So.
And 2. And both at bats, Smiley's gotten ahead of him 0-2.
See, that's what happened when you struggle, though. You know, we saw this with Cody Bellinger. Every time he got in the box in spring training, he was 0-2. It was almost like he was kicking out of order in kickball. You know what I mean? So when you're struggling like that, you feel like you're always behind in the count. But you got to fight mentally as well as physically. And once those hits fall, then you start to get in the shooter's rhythm.
A lot of speed on the bases. Betts at second. Trey Turner at first. Justin Turner down swinging. Smiley's 4th K and 2 gone in the 3rd.
Sometimes hitters are just victim to good sequencing. You saw 2 fastballs down and in and got him ahead of the count, and now he knows he can have options. Go back inner half or throw the slow breaking ball that never truly gets to you.
So a 2 gone, it's Muncy, who, like Turner, has struggled against left-handed pitching. You may look and say, well, yeah, he's a left-handed hitter.
Right.
But actually last year he had reverse splits. Muncy was better against lefties than he was righties. Lifts this ball to center field for Michael Hermosillo. Dodgers get a couple of hits, but nothing to show for. Cadillac, Alex Vesia and Tony Gonsolin visit Lou Malnati's Pizzeria in Chicago and learn how to make deep dish pizza. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac on Friday. Win in Rome.
I'm jealous. Never had deep dish pizza before.
Wait, you literally have never had deep dish pizza?
Never had it before.
I feel like you should probably change that today.
It's gonna be a little late when we get out of here tonight, Joe.
You're gonna have time between the games, though.
Absolutely. Never had it before. So
Wow.
any recommendations, hook me up.
Well, Lou Malnati's.
Talk to
There
me,
you go.
baby.
Jonathan VR leads off this inning for the Cubs and bunts it foul. Let's check in with Kirsten.
Well, guys, I caught up with Tony this afternoon. He told me that they made a pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, all different types of meat were in their first pizza. In total, they ended up leaving with about 3 of them, but their favorite was the cookie pizza, on which Alex Vesia, I am told, ate half of it, including all of the ice cream and all of the whipped cream, guys.
Was it a deep dish ice cream?
Not a
cookie?
deep dish ice cream cookie, but it's a thicker one. So I guess kind
Okay.
of, yeah. We could have a
I'm jealous. Truly jealous.
It was a 1-1 pitch.
Good pitch.
VR lays off ball 2. I mean, look, we can make this happen for you.
I need
We're
it in
still
my life.
Chicago.
I need that in my life, baby. Live a little.
Kershaw's 2-1. Swing and a miss. That slider disappears on VR.
The best in our game of being able to throw the slider at the knee and then below the knee to the point where the hitter knows it's coming, but I have to honor it. No one tunnels better than Clayton Kershaw. Look at that.
Wow. Drops it down to 86 this time. Gets a swing and a miss. The league is hitting 132 against that pitch.
I mean, it's just pure greatness. You know what I mean? Being able to follow the mitt and throw that pitch every single time. That's why he's going into the Hall of Fame. First ballot. No one tunnels the ball. And what I mean by tunneling is the fastball coming out of your hand and the slider doesn't give an inkling that something else is coming.
Michael Hermosillo out of the 8th spot takes a fastball inside 1-0. So that pitch right there, Hermosillo thinks there's a 50-50 chance that it does that. And there's a 50-50 chance it comes in and breaks his knuckles.
Yeah, absolutely. When you put the hitter on the defensive, they do not like it because now they're put in a position to have to guess.
That's a bullet to left, but it hangs up for Chris Taylor. 2 gone in the 3rd.
We got somebody on that. That's why he's making the big bucks now too as well. I mean, athletically, you put him anywhere you want to, and his confidence is there. And loving how he's working hard at that corner because, you know, outfielder work. I messed with Juan Pierre one day and thought I could play the outfield. I dropped every ball out there, so I have a newfound respect for outfielders from that point on.
Nick Madrigal, the 9-hitter. Wait, you went out and shagged?
Yeah, off the bat, because
Okay.
I was John to Juan Pierre, one of my best friends, and obviously an ex-Dodger, and I said, I could play the outfield like you. And it was dun, 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 and it was a mess out there. So had an appreciation for my outfielders after that point.
It's 1-1 on Madrigal, who's a unique player. It's a guy who, for the White Sox, hit .358 over the last 2 seasons. It's about a half a season worth of games. And the Cubs got him in the Craig Kimbrell trade last summer, but has struggled to put those kinds of numbers together this year. He's hitting just .235. Somebody, though, who his entire life has hit for a high average. So the Cubs are confident that that is small sample and early season noise.
A guy that rarely strikes out, and that's one thing that the White Sox loved about him, his bat-to-ball skills and being able to hit all over the field. Shows power at times, but that's not his game. But a tough out.
Gets his bat on this one, but a routine bouncer to Justin Turner, and a 1-2-3 third for Kershaw on 11 pitches. The vitals on this great ballpark, second oldest park, 1914. It went up as Weigman Park at that point, and Wrigley Field 1927. Trivia question for you. So Fenway's the oldest, Wrigley's the second oldest. What is the third oldest ballpark?
New England clam chowder, the red or the white. Dodger Stadium.
You got it.
Had to go old school Ace Ventura on you right there, you know. But yeah, Dodger Stadium. But when you talk about those ballparks, including Wrigley, these are all cathedrals of baseball. These, you can ask anybody in the big leagues, they want to come to these confines and say they touch, the soil of these ballparks. So always fun to play at those ballparks.
Chris Taylor leads off this inning, fouls off the first pitch. They've done a great job here, haven't they? Fenway, too, of renovating it, keeping the character. I mean, you walk through the concourse, it is nothing like it used to be. But at the same time, you still feel like you're in a park that has been around for a long, long time. But in the best way.
Absolutely. And the fans, a lot like our fans, are very knowledgeable. It's generational fans as well. So you see grandfathers and dads and sons all missing school to be able to come watch ball games and what have you. And if you feel this confine on the field, the fans feel like they're on top of you. So this acoustically, the energy level is always high no matter how well the team is doing.
There was no energy in here in 03 when you pitched here, was it? Here's an 02.
Oh, man, EK. And listen, I love EK. Mark Pryor is my man. Love what he's doing. I try my hardest not to bring up those series because, I make sure I leave my World Series ring at home when I'm around those guys, Don't be starting nothing, JG. I love you, baby. Don't be starting nothing with me.
Taylor leading off this fourth. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Unique look for a pitcher, though, right? At Wrigley Field.
Absolutely. Everybody's backdrop is different, so the depth perception. So sometimes you go to a ballpark and you feel you're right on top of the hitter. This is a little bit different because obviously you see the fans, you see a lot of the white uniforms and stuff. So when you first get on the mound, it takes an inning or two to get your depth perception as far as the feel of the command of the baseball.
Full count. Been a bunch of those from Drew Smyly.
Yeah.
And they've fixed it since. But back when you were playing and when the bullpens were in play, those mounds were entirely different than the mound you get out of the game. So you had to get warmed up twice.
Absolutely. So, anybody that's played in the big leagues realizes that. The fans don't, but totally different slope on the mound, different feel, different depth perception as well. So, and that's the beauty of all ballparks, though. It's the essence and the characteristics of the city. So sometimes it's a home field advantage. You go to Dodger Stadium, and I've had people yelling at me and trying to rattle me and what have you, and it's the same way here.
Taylor continues to battle against Smyly. Struck out his first time. The Dodgers have already run this pitch count up to 72, and the most that Smyly's thrown in a game this year is 83.
And it's 1-0. It should feel like 5-0 at this point, but
Taylor pushes this one into right. That'll dunk in for a base hit. Get off me ball on a leadoff single.
Love this approach, and this is almost Derek Jeter-esque. Inside-out swing, and you're strong enough to muscle the ball to the right side. But as you can see already, there's a lot of hits on the right side, and then you're seeing this lineup starting to take the approach of hitting the ball to all fields, and that's a tough lineup to defend when they're able to do that at a high level.
Taylor does it on the 8th pitch there. It's their third 2-strike hit of this game. Smyly having a hard time putting guys away.
I'd like to see Cody catch a little breaking ball out in front.
Grounded out first pitch that he saw first time up. Takes ball 1 and a cutter.
Got a chance to talk to Cody in spring training when he was struggling, and love his personality, love his attitude. He was still positive, and I told him, I said, hey, we don't go where we want to go without you. And I didn't mean it in a disrespectful manner or put more pressure on him, but that's how much he means to the ball club athletically as well as in the lineup. Ooh, that was the one I wanted. I love that pass by him. That tells me that he's locked in and he's swinging through the baseball. stays back. You saw those calves flex through those pants right there. He wanted that baseball.
Well, you talk about Dodgers going the other way a lot. We've seen Cody Bellinger at times shorten up, use the whole field, and take off. We saw that in San Diego a little bit. He had the 2 home run game that followed it. Pulls this one sharply to second. They get the out at second and turn 2. Impressive turn of a double play. Horner to Madrigal and over to first. 6 at 4, 4-3.
And that ball was smoked. You know, and that's unfortunate. It's like you hit the ball too hard to be able to break up that double play. But again, I agree with you 1,000%. You would like to see him let that baseball travel deeper and stay in the center of the field. He's already rolled over twice with 2 ground balls. One was hit hard, so you like that pass, but you want to see him open up himself and trust. And that's the biggest thing, trust that game plan and sticking to that game plan to hit the ball the other way.
Barnes, who grounded out his first time, takes a strike.
Told Barnesy on the plane, I said, I know what you're doing. I see you took a couple guys deep in spring training. You know, he shows he had that power, and for about a week in the season, he was the home run leader on the Dodger team. So, good guy and does his job very well.
Two and one. Two and two. 92 looking like 102.
2-1 count. Hitter friendly count. I like your attitude right there, Barnesy. Anything middle in, you got to put your A swing to try to put that ball in the seats.
On a 2-2, Barnes fouls it back. First of 2 between these teams today. Day-night doubleheader split. Got this noon local start time. The second game will be at 6. Time for Dontrelle to go try deep dish for the first time. High fly ball to left center field. The wind blowing in, but Barnes cuts right through it and hits it out. Dodgers lead 2-0 on Barnes' 3rd home run of the season. I mean, that's some big time power into the teeth of the wind.
We just talked about that earlier. I said, you're not slick, Barnesy. I see what you're doing on the backfield, hitting home runs. And listen, he has power inner half, stays back, recognizes that as a breaking ball, and all you need to do is just barrel up that baseball. And he's a strong guy, and he gives me a little half smile when I tell him, I see what you're doing, Barnesy. But that production for guys that doesn't get at bats every single day jolts the team.
Lux taking a ball.
And that's the one thing I love about this lineup depth. Even after a home run, you can't take a breath as a starting pitcher. It's now Gavin Lux who can square up the ball and hit it in the seats as well.
2-0. So for Drew Smyly, the 5th home run he's allowed in the last 2+ games. Lux slices a ball to left center field. Patrick Wisdom is there, and that's the inning. But a 2-out home run from Austin Barnes, his 3rd already this season, and it's 2-0 LA. Brought to you by the SoCal BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Back here at Wrigley Field, where the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead over the Cubs after Austin Barnes hit his 3rd home run of the year. He goes back to work catching Clayton Kershaw, who's faced the minimum once through. Wilson Contreras took a big rip at the first pitch that he saw. First time up there, and so Kershaw starts him with a curve. Yeah. Mindful of that. It's ball 1. Now Kershaw just 10 pitches per inning so far. Very efficient. At a place again that he doesn't love pitching at and has struggled to pitch at. A career short outing last year. almost 1 year to the day, and an ERA around 4 in his career here, which for Kershaw is really high.
Clayton's done a hell of a job this season keeping runners off the base path and getting clean innings. And when the opposition faces them, they're hitting 129 with nobody on, 300 with runners on. So I think Clayton Kershaw understands that and continues to work and be efficient. The less pitches that hitters see, the deeper you can go in ball games.
Here's his 1-2. Contreras barely gets a piece to stay alive.
Great pitch and great at bat right there. Sometimes you got to tip your hat and say, hey, that guy drives a nice car too. You know what I mean? This is the beauty of playing the best in the world. Not a lot of hitters can cover that pitch after seeing balls in their half. But Willson Contreras, I think, is this team's best hitter. So this is going to be a tough out.
Another 1-2 pitch. Another foul ball. He's about to drive an even nicer car next year because he's headed into free agency.
Absolutely.
One of the last links to the glory days, the recent glory days. He came up during that 2016 season, was the starting catcher at the time they got into the postseason. He spent all 14 years of his pro career in the Cubs organization, and they've made multiple offers, just haven't come to terms on one yet. Be interesting to see if they figure out a deal to keep him, or if they continue what has been a complete turnover of the roster under the new GM Jed Hoyer. He's in his second season after Theo Epstein stepped down. Del Rizzo, Del Bryant, Del Baez, Greg Kimbrell in a 24-hour span going into the deadline last year. It started to restock the farm system, restructured much of the front office and coaching staff as well. Contreras watches strike 3, perfectly placed on the outside corner. When he starts getting that arm side fastball going, look out.
Too much to cover for the hitter. You have to think about the breaking ball. You have to think about the slider. And oh yeah, a 4-seam fastball, knee high, being able to throw the baseball with conviction through the target. And Contreras knew it. That's why he took the little HUD 2, HUD 3 to the dugout. But that's called pitching right there. That's the beauty of it.
Seiya Suzuki fouls off the first pitch fastball.
And when you're seeing these passes, when they're fouling the ball back and you think he might be on that baseball, but no, they're just being aggressive and trying to hunt the slider. So they're in between pitches as far as where their barrel is right now. And that's a beautiful thing as a pitcher. Not his best slider right there, but Suzuki's looking at a ball that's going to be coming in, and all of a sudden he locks up because he sees the ball away. Clayton takes another strike away from him.
And comes back home with an 0-2 pitch. Suzuki pulls a base hit into left. Got a lot of the plate with an 0-2 pitch there. And Suzuki took advantage. He's been on both times.
Slider, they wanted down and in. Barnes' glove was down. This is the finishing pitch, and as soon as you throw this pitch, you saw Clayton Kershaw's reaction. And I've thrown a lot of those pitches more than Clayton Kershaw. It's like, oh no, what have I done?
You want to get your go-go gadget arm, pull the ball right back.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's all right. You know, stay competitive, wipe that pitch away, and say, hey, let me get a ground ball and get out of the inning.
And it brings up the first Brazilian-born player in big league history, Yan Gomes. And he takes strike 1 from Kershaw. Family friend introduced him to baseball when he was 6 years old. His family moved to Miami, as you mentioned. It's where he grew up. Sports always a big part of his family. His dad was a tennis pro, is an instructor now. His mom was one of the top swimmers in Brazil.
Ooh.
Flails at a curve here, and it's 0-2. Gomes blazed his own path and became the first big leaguer out of that soccer country.
Really big part of the Guardians' success with their rotation and the reason why they got to the postseason and the World Series. He was the catalyst of the game calling as well as hitting timely home runs for that lineup. But they took pride in him being able to navigate not only that rotation but the bullpen as well. Good pitch.
Just outside, ball 1.
That man, a record holder, you got to give him that call. Gotta give him that call.
What'd you say earlier about Freddie Freeman? The man has trophies.
The man has some plaques on his wall. And it's a ball, but because he throws strikes, you feel like if you're close to the plate, you start to establish some leniency. And listen, when you got 3 Cy Youngs in the crib,
that gets you another
yeah,
inch or two,
absolutely.
right?
Park my car out front.
Comes inside here, grounded to second. Lux to Turner, running throw, double play. Oh, poetry in motion, 4-6-3, and the inning is over. California Toyota dealers. It's a 2-0 game as we go to the 5th inning. Dodgers finishing off that bottom of the 4th with a pretty double play turn and a hard hit ball. Lux to Trey Turner. Over to first and down to Kirsten.
Well, ahead of every game, we always see Gavin Lux. He's taking grounders. He's doing a lot of work in the field, continuing to be a plus defender. So once he came into the dugout, Dino met him first, and he said, "That's what I'm talking about." And all of his teammates were just so excited for him and for him making that play, guys.
Top of the order here against Drew Smyly. It's Mookie Betts to lead it off, and he takes strike 1. Pitcher's best friend, and when they're turned like that, aren't too many things in baseball more fun to watch.
Talking to Dino earlier before the game, he loved talking about Gavin Lux and the way that he's grinding to be a plus defender, and it's starting to show. You're seeing the confidence as a total complete ball player of how good Gavin Lux can be. His ceiling is so high, and Dino's one of the best in all of baseball and one of the most respected coaches in all of baseball since I've been playing.
0-2, very high, and Lux, of course, a shortstop coming up. Still a chance that he winds up there long term. On a 1-2 pitch, Betts takes in the dirt, ball 2.
Like him at second, though. I think he's starting to get comfortable. You know what I mean? The one thing I love about him is when he makes a mistake, he wipes it away quickly. It doesn't fester with him. And so as a teammate, man, you're like, I got you. I'll get you another ground ball, man, because I trust and believe in you. So to see that type of play and energy, fun to watch.
Soft hands at third for VR, and Betts retired for the first time today. One away in the 5th. Here's Freddie Freeman as Drew Smyly cruises past his previous season high. There's 83, but if there's ever a day where he's gotta, it is a day where you've got to cover 18 innings as a pitching staff.
And I've been in this position before where you feel like I have to save and help my teammates. I cannot get out of the game within the first couple innings. No matter what the outcome is, I have to help my managers set up the bullpen not only for this game, but for the next game as well. So he's going to have to be able to get through the lineup twice and third time around so far.
Robert Gesellman starting to loosen as Freeman takes a ball, 1-1. Pitching for the Cubs. Biggest reason for their collapse last year. The Cubs were in first place in late June. Then they lost 11 straight. They lost 12 straight in August. They lost 14 of 16 in September. And had the worst ERA in the National League in that time. Almost 6 for a 3-month span. That's
bullpen failed them. Yeah, bullpen failed them.
Freeman yanks one towards the right field corner. That's going to get down for his second extra base hit of the day. Freddie Freeman has a pair of doubles, and the Dodgers have another man in scoring position.
I did not know the Freddie chants traveled.
Yeah, they do. They are TSA approved.
I did not know. I mean, the impact already. It's truly remarkable. Got a chance to see him before the game, and he gave me a big hug. And
he's a big hugger.
Yeah, big hugger. Leads the league in some hugs. That and doubles. Leads the league in it.
It's like that is going to do it for Drew Smyly as David Ross comes out to make the change, as you said, probably earlier than he wanted on a doubleheader day. But Smyly with a season high 94 pitches, it gets him through 4 1/3.
When the Dodgers host the Phillies, and add a Max Muncy bobblehead to your collection courtesy of 76. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com, promotions, or scan the QR code on your screen.
And there is Max Muncy, who is coming up in just a few hitters. Right now it's going to be Trey Turner against the new Cubs pitcher making his Cubs debut, Robert Gesellman. Started the season in AAA Iowa, put up good numbers there. And he comes on here with Freeman in second and one away in the fifth. Dodgers up 2-0. Chance to add on here. 1 ball, no strikes on Turner.
Really good sinking fastball, induces a ton of ground balls. Nasty breaking ball as well, but get ahead and stay ahead is the key for him.
LA guy, went to Westchester High School. (2-0).
Tell you what, he's got some serious flow there, huh?
It's nice, isn't it?
High-end conditioner guy. I don't have that problem, you know.
Think of all the time you saved, though. Not having to...
my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. We can't have flow like you, JD. That's TV
boy.
flow you got right there, baby. You know what I mean?
But it ain't Gesellman flow. Falls behind Turner 3-0 and finds the zone here. Now, the bullpen has been the biggest strength so far for the Cubs. A few one-year deals that they did. Michael Givens, Chris Martin, David Robertson, who's been excellent as their closer. And now Gesellman getting his first opportunity. Count goes full on Turner. Those one-year deals are very much in line with what the Cubs are doing right now, which is seeing what they've got this year, trying to pull off some more trades, continue to bolster the farm system, and look ahead. I don't think anybody really thinks the Cubs are ready to win the division this year, but plotting for the years ahead.
But
that's a walk for Turner.
You want them to be competitive, so you get veteran guys, you know, guys that are serviceable, especially strike throwers, and being able to keep the game intact, and then you try to find a couple plus guys. If we have a lead like Roberts and company, like these are the guys that are going to come in the ball game and shut it down. But the mid-game guys, the 4th inning through the 6th inning guys, are definitely important because that's where a game can get away from you, like right now.
The Dodgers have had chances in this game to really break it loose, but with the 1 run in the 1st inning, got the solo home run from Barnes last inning. Stranded a bunch. 2 on with 1 out here. Justin Turner takes ball 1.
Having trouble finding the strike zone, and that's the one thing that was always tough for me to come out of the bullpen. And you ask guys how do they get ready, and you'll get 12 different answers coming out of the bullpen. So that's why I'm sitting in the booth now. Could make the adjustment.
Turner lifts one to deep left field, over the head of Wisdom and up against the wall. Freeman's in to score. Turner's headed for the plate. Here's the relay. Not in time. And that special Trey Turner slide. He touches home, and a 2-run double for Justin Turner makes it 4-0.
Love seeing JT get his foot down early so he can recognize the pitch, understand that this is going to be a sinker in, and all I have to do is drop the barrel on the baseball, squares it up. He's going to get cooking. He's going to get cooking in the next couple days. I believe that. And Trey with that slide, man, he must have a slip and slide like at home or something because no one slides better than him, man.
He has a young son who's probably getting close to slip and slide age. It's a strike on Max Muncy.
Do they still make slip and slides?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. And Freddie's got to get the heck out of the way because Trey's right on top of him, you know what I mean? But smooth like Benihana butter, baby. I love it.
1-1 on Muncy.
How do you not love this team? I mean, the personalities, the athleticism, obviously the talent, but, you know, when I walked on the plane with these guys, I'm like, man, these guys are good. These guys are loaded. Oh, just missed that.
In the left center field, Hermosillo. And Wisdom, who makes the catch and topples over the center fielder. High sky and some wind, and a guy in Wisdom that's not played a whole lot of outfield in his career.
Oh, and thought he was camped under that ball and then hit abort last minute because he lost it. But really bright sky, you know what I mean? And you're obviously right with the wind. You're never giving up on the baseball.
Two gone here in the fifth, and up comes Taylor. Went the other way for a base hit his last time up after striking out in the first inning. First one from Gesellman, rides inside, ball one.
Gesellman has so much movement, you know, on his fastball. You almost have to sit middle to thirds and just flash the glove of where you want the pitch to end up. As you can see by Contreras doing right now.
I mean, that thing looks like it's going to be thigh high. It winds up under the zone.
Absolutely. It reminds me of a Brandon Webb sinker, as a lot of the Dodger fans have seen the depth change of it, also with the velocity.
This one a little more side to side.
Yeah. Has the ability to go east and west with that pitch as well.
Two and two.
That's the beauty about being part of this organization, that I realized that Dodger fans travel.
Yeah. So the Freddie Freeman fans travel because the fans travel.
Absolutely.
Right. On a 2-2, Taylor fouls it into the glove as Gesellman changes speeds there. And that's the inning. But the Dodgers get two more on a double from Justin Turner. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam at one of the best ballparks in the game. There's some of those Dodger fans that have traveled or that call the Midwest home. On a pretty day to be at the ballpark, which is a drastic change from the weather the first 2 days in town. A strike one from Kershaw to Patrick Wisdom.
Seeing a lot of hoodies under jerseys, that type of look today, and I don't blame him.
Yesterday and the day before was hoodies under jerseys, under coats, under raincoats. 101.
Me under my bed watching TV. That's what I was doing.
Under your bed. It was really cold out. It's 2-1. Kershaw has only 2 Ks today, but has faced the minimum through 4 innings. A couple singles and a walk.
I think that's the evolution of Clayton Kershaw. I think early in his career, high strikeout guy, but also it takes a lot of pitches to get guys out like that. So he doesn't mind getting soft contact and being efficient and going deep in the ballgame.
Destroys the bat of Wisdom, and it's caught it short by Turner.
I know Wisdom's hands are hurting right now in this cold weather. Catching that baseball like that into the bat.
Left for the toothpick.
Thinking you have a base hit, but nah, Trey's over there. You're bad.
One gone, 5th inning. Frank Schwindel. Strike one from Kershaw.
Schwindel looking to really get going and establish himself in the lineup average-wise. And you know the power is going to be there, but tough guy to do that off of today.
Turner again. 2 out. This Cubs team a couple weekends ago scored 21 runs in a game against the Pirates. In 9 games since, they've scored 19. 21 in 1 game, 19 in 9 games since.
What a difference a day makes and a week makes, because all of a sudden the offensive starts to get lulls. People are starting to press, chase out of the zone to try to create some havoc, but that's when the slumps start, when you get out of your comfort zone and try to do too much. And a lot of these guys in the lineup, because I think in the beginning they felt like they can be a dog in this division, you know.
Horner goes up the middle, base hit. His second.
I think Nico has a great game plan against Clayton Kershaw, being able to stay in the center of the field no matter what the pitch he recognizes and just square the baseball up. Done a good job right there.
Horner, a guy who will turn 25 next week. He's in his 4th year in the majors and playing everyday shortstop for him for the first time. He was last year really good when he was available, but missed most of the season with an oblique injury, forearm injury, hamstring injury. But he hit above 300 in the 44 games that he played. Two gone here in the fifth. Here's Jonathan VR.
In a situation for Nico that he can get a chance to play every day and get at bat, so I think that's critical for his development.
Strike one on VR.
Love seeing Clayton start to mix in that slide step. I mean, hitters, it's for the runner, but also hitters, they lock up a little bit because when you slide step, you throw off the timing and when the release point's going to come out.
Hitting is timing.
Yeah.
Pitching is disrupting the time.
Absolutely. Give him the miss or miss hit the baseball. Bottom line. And nobody's done it better than Clayton Kershaw.
0-2.
I mean, if you look at him though, is he even sweating? You know what I mean? And I know it's cold out here, but what I mean by that is his mound presence, his demeanor, his rhythm with Barnes. Like, he rarely shakes him, you know, and so the battery partnership is definitely critical for success.
Home with an 0-2. That's tapped back to him. Easy play for Kershaw. And the fifth. He keeps on rolling. To the sixth we go with the Dodgers in front 4-0. By your Lexus Steelers. Top of the order, getting it done today. Got it done right away today. Getting a run before Drew Smyly had an out. And then from the bottom, Austin Barnes contributed with a solo homer. It's 4-0 as we go to the sixth. And Cody Bellinger leads it off.
It's been a discussion about when the top of the order really starts to get going with Max Muncy, JT, guys of that nature. What type of damage is this team going to be able to do on a daily basis? And it's fun to watch, man. Really, truly is. This is one of the better lineups that's been put together of all time.
Top scoring team in baseball so far, even though it hasn't really felt like they've clicked on all cylinders yet. I mean, Wednesday was the exception.
Yeah, right.
Yet they're still the top of baseball in many categories offensively.
Wednesday felt like they were kicking out of order in kickball. You know, it's like he's up again. Like, you know what I mean? Because the barrage of hits, the energy level. Chavez Ravine's a daunting place when the fans get into it. You know, and then we talked about it earlier. It felt like a playoff atmosphere. And so the Giants got sent the message. So I got to talk to my boys on Market Street about, I don't know about this year.
Giants going to start to get healthy. They'll look a lot different next time the Dodgers see them in June. Robert Gesellman, first man out of the bullpen for the Cubs today. Bellinger hits this one a mile high. Suzuki settles under it for the first out of the sixth. Dodgers 4, Cubs nothing. Austin Barnes heads to the plate. Hit his third home run in his 8th game. He had 6 all last year.
Getting his foot down on time, JD, and that sweet, easy swing. Probably swinging 80%. He just wants to barrel the baseball. He's strong enough to do that, and he hit that ball through that wind. He went to big man land on him, baby.
How about this? He's tied for the National League lead among catchers, even though he's only played in a third of the games.
Put some respect on AB's name, baby. Love it.
A home run, snapped an 0 for 10 for him. It was his 3rd one this season.
Dave's doing a really good job of platooning Will Smith and Austin. Keep them fresh and keep them confident in getting quality at bats.
Chopper to short. Horner steps into the throw and gets Barnes.
Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on Monday, May 16th, when the Dodgers meet the Diamondbacks, and add a 2022 Walker bobblehead to your collection, courtesy of Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or scan the QR code on your screen right now.
2 up, 2 down, 6th inning. And here's Gavin Lux, who's 0 for 2 today. Quickly puts it in play, charging it short Madrigal, and that's the inning. To the bottom of the 6th we go. 4-0 LA. By Carl's Jr. Feed your happy at Carl's Jr. and earn double stars on any purchase in the app. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop NissanUSA.com. Clayton Kershaw threw 5 shutout innings very efficiently. 8-9-1 coming up for the Cubs. Just 55 pitches through 5 innings.
Greatness at its finest. You know, not the numbers that we're used to seeing from Clayton Kershaw, striking out 9 or 10 at this point, but he'll tell you he'll be happy with it. Getting ground balls, soft contact, and getting in the dugout quickly.
Michael Hermosillo hit it hard his first time, but it was caught and left by Chris Taylor. You know, the last thing Clayton Kershaw wanted to do, and is ever going to want to do, is to be here for sentimental reasons. He didn't want to just sign and be a Dodger for the sake of continuing his career in LA. He said, I don't want to pitch just to pitch. It's not a goal of mine to stick around. I don't have any interest in sticking around just to be around. If I'm not helpful, I'm not going to be there. So at age 34, in his 15th big league season, what he's doing here, putting together these incredible numbers, he wouldn't be here if he wasn't. Not that he needs to be pitching at a Cy Young level like this, but he didn't want to be around for the sake of being around.
No, the organization means the world to him, and pitching means the world to him. You could tell the pride that he takes into it, the standard that he holds himself. Even coming into spring training, I said, man, you aging backwards like Benjamin Button. Like, I mean, you're in the best shape I've seen you. So, and even developing a changeup. I mean, that tells you that that's somebody that cares about his craft, and that's why he's one of the best all time.
Turner gets Hermosillo.
And he wants to be impactful, and I respect that. You know, he understands his importance, and he's been huge for this rotation and his staff the early part of the year, helping guys get time to build themselves up with the ramped up spring training.
Like, it's great, right, that Kershaw's still a Dodger and the strikeout record and all these historical things, but when you zero in on now and what he means for this team now, not the historic stuff, it's incredible what he's doing. Nick Madrigal fouls off the first pitch, because it's, remember, coming into the year, the biggest question was the rotation.
Right.
And he has gone a long ways in solidifying it and answering that question. You know, you figured you knew what you had in Walker Buehler. You knew what you had in Julio Urias. But Kershaw coming off the arm injury, not really sure what that was going to look like.
Right.
It's been a big, big deal what he's done so far. Forget the historic stuff.
Good pitch.
No swing, 2-1.
But many people have asked me, would you let him go out there and get that perfect game? It's like, you can't, because at the time, I thought Dave Roberts made a hell of a call, because he was the only guy in that rotation that felt like and looked like he was on time as far as his velocity, his strength, and that a guy you could run out there. At the time, Urias didn't have his velocity, Walker Buehler didn't have his velocity, so you still had to give time to the guy. So he was the one starter that you believed in, that you can go out there and shorten up a baseball game. So really proud of the game call.
Home of the 2-2. Madrigal bounces it gently. Justin Turner's there. 2 up and 2 down, and a couple easy ground balls.
You know you got good stuff when you're jamming people on sliders. I never had that problem before. It's a well-executed pitch.
I mean, look at this. It's pitches by inning. 65 pitches with 2 gone in the 6th.
I told him in the locker room, you're obnoxiously good.
Hey, were you telling him these things today? Were you talking to Clayton Kershaw?
No, actually on the off day, when travel day, when I got to see him. And
Wilson Contreras pops the first one up. The efficiency continues, assuming somebody can find this. It's going to be Mookie Betts. Steps from the infield dirt.
Way to go. That's a gamer. That's a gamer. This man ran 50 yards.
And made the catch then to 1-2-3-6. That's covering a country mile to get to this ball, as Gavin Lux is saying, I don't see it. Well, here comes Mookie.
Great game sense, though, because he can sense that Gavin Lux was lost. Cody wasn't next to it, and he says, hey, I played a little second base in my time. I'll help you out and get this catch, baby. Easy money.
That's right. Comfortable in this neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here he is to lead off the 7th. Dodgers up 4-0. Ball 1 from Robert Gesellman. It's been a good day at the plate again for Betts. Walked and scored in the first inning, singled in the 3rd. Dodgers got one more in the fourth. They got two in the fifth.
How many times you see a guy make an awesome play in the outfield and then put one in the seats after? So
you calling it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to first call shot right here.
Okay. Two and one.
For guys that those sinkers, the hitting coaches say, see them up. And what that means is try to see the whole baseball, not just the top half of the baseball, because oftentimes guys hit that ball on the ground. So anything need to thigh high, have an upward pass to it.
On a 2-1 pitch, Betts watches a well-placed strike two.
This might be my first and last called shot after these. So these sinkers are moving.
I was going to say Gesellman's not treating your prediction very well. Here's his 2-2. Betts up the middle. What a pick by Madrigal. Heck of a play for the first out of the seventh.
A little payback right there, you know. Stayed under control, knew he had time, even though Mookie gets up the line very fast. But I love that path, staying in the center of the field, squaring up the baseball, not trying to do too much. I think early in the season, Mookie tries to hit that ball, pull it, and hit the top half of it, and that's when you've seen the weak contact. So even though he got out right there, I like where his head's at.
One gone for Freddie Freeman, who's doubled twice today. Fouls off first one from Gesellman.
Hitting a quiet 311.
An easy 311, right? I mean, just
fun to watch. Always gives you a professional AB, no matter what, no matter time of the game, situation, really bears down and stays focused.
I mean, to join this lineup, this group of hitters, and to do several things that stands out, you got to be different. That is way up there in right center field with the wind blowing in, knocks it down, kept it from being a home run, turned it into his third double of the day. There are those Freddie chants.
Much deserved. I mean, and this is a ball that's squared up to the point where if the wind's not blowing in, that ball's gone. You know, long, long gone. So loving the way that he's squaring up the baseball and just staying calm and working himself into hitter-friendly counts. But I'm about to get on him because I would like to see him on third there. We've been seeing him run a lot early on in this season.
Tripled on Wednesday at his first one of the year. It's a ball on Trey Turner. Single and a walk for Turner. Bottom falls out, 1-1.
Love Trey's versatility. You can put him in the leadoff spot, the 3-hole, and he's still able to stay calm and produce in those spots. Good take.
On a 2-1, chops one towards the middle and through. Turner drives home Freeman. 5-0 Dodgers. On Trey Turner's second knock of the afternoon.
Not trying to do too much with the baseball. You know, again, sinker guy. You just want to barrel the baseball and hit it hard through the zone. As I like to say in the dugout when I used to play, keep the line moving. This is what this lineup depth is able to do.
It was good to see Justin Turner join the party his last time. Doubled off the wall on left, drove home 2.
didn't like when a speed burner was on the bases. It made you as a pitcher work a little faster, speed up your mechanics or what have you, and you're not as sharp.
Think about things other than the guy at the plate. Talking about Turner's double, he was 2 for his previous 21 when he turned this one around and drove home a pair.
Funny thing when you think about the term stay within yourself, and you saw that swing, another 80% swing, but their strength is so strong. All I have to do is barrel this baseball. It's in my power zone. Good take. See, I like that type of take because that tells me that their pitch recognition is on time and they're starting to understand where their strike zone is, which is a big part of hitting.
Turner at first, and at the plate, grounded to third. Nice hands by VR to start a 5-4-3 double play. We stretch in a 5-0 game. Spa, good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Emba, the 2022 Ford F-150 truck and your Southern California Ford dealer, where the future comes standard. Dodgers up 5-0. What do they call this? The beer snake? Strike one from Kershaw.
That is impressive. What's the over and under of how many cups? That's about 1,000?
Yeah, I would think. Curve is floated to right. Here comes Betts to track it down for the first out. It's running all over the place out there.
Yeah, buddy, when you're making that much money, you got to work.
Now, Kershaw threw 6 1/3 now on 68 pitches. He's thrown as many as 87 in a game this year. And he has just held the Cubs in the palm of his hand today. Giving up a couple hits, but all 3 of them singles, just 1 walk. And Yan Gomes stands in here. You get a pitcher on top of his game against a struggling lineup.
Has not shook Austin off once. You know,
that's got to put you in such a nice rhythm.
Trust, I mean, and to be honest with you,
that gets under Turner. Taylor quickly there to hold Gomes to a base hit.
When you trust your catcher, it helps take the thinking out of the way. I just have to follow your mitt. So that relationship, I mean, you can't, there's no monetary value for that. Being that good and trusting the guy to guide you with it. And also because for Austin, he has to believe and see and trust his eye that, hey, this is the pitch and this is the sequence and this is where we're going to get swings and misses and soft contact. So it's a fun marriage.
And that is a base hit. That brings up Patrick Wisdom in a 5-0 game here in the 7th. Kershaw deals. Wisdom swings and misses at a first pitch slider. Wisdom's lined out both times. Started the season 1 for 21, but is hitting above 300 since. Back-to-back swings and misses on sliders.
That pitch right there is why he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. You know, being able to execute that pitch and keep it under the barrel at a high level. And like I said earlier in the show, they know it's coming. They know when they get it behind in the count, they're going to see at least one slider. It's definitely tough to barrel.
See if he goes 3 in a row. He does. This one in the dirt, though.
When you got a Ferrari, you're definitely going to drive it.
I'm with you.
Why not? You know, one of the better pitches in our game. I mean, you put that pitch up there with Mariano Rivera's cutter. I mean, that's how efficient and good that pitch has been for him in his whole career.
And to think that it was the curveball that was the one when he got to the majors.
Right.
It's opening everybody's eyes. It was actually here at Wrigley Field where Clayton Kershaw found that slider. His 1-2 is dribbled foul, because at that point, Dodger fans know the story by now, but fastball, curveball, and Wisdom ends up paying there, fouling that one off his foot. Hitters are just spitting on the curveball,
right,
attacking the fastball, and he was struggling. And so Kershaw, bullpen session, those bullpens that were in play here at Wrigley Field hours before the game one day. So why don't we give this a try? And very quickly, A.J. Ellis is like, yeah, that'll do. That's going to work.
Yeah, I needs that, as we say in Oaktown. I needs that. Absolutely. Great sequence. He's thrown 3 sliders in a row. Has made Wisdom's eyes stay down, and all of a sudden you change eye level with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that you almost stole for a strike at the top of the zone. That's pitching. Now you still have options, even though it's 2-2. Do you want to go with the big Rupa-Duper breaking ball, or now double up with the fastball, or go back to the slider?
And it's a guy that has struck out more than anybody in baseball the last couple of years. And Wisdom.
I like to see the Rupa-Duper right here.
Never a bad time for that.
He's been seeing a lot of baseballs. Wisdom, this is about coming inner half. Just throw something, just try to change eye level.
It was a curveball that got strike 3 to tie Don Sutton's record. There's a slider that broke it against Spencer Torkelson.
That's one of those welcome to the big league son moments for Spencer.
Yeah.
You know. I think you're going to see the breaking ball right here.
2-2 to Wisdom. There it is. Lifted to deep left center field. Bellinger back. He's on the track. Squares up and makes the catch. Clayton Kershaw has the Chicago win to thank for the 0 still up on the board.
I almost wanted to apologize to him myself after that pitch, because I thought that was the right call, but it caught too much of the plate. That ball ended up belt high. The breaking ball he wanted to see it from thigh down and chase the top half of the baseball. But sometimes you overthrow the baseball and try to make it too nasty and catches too much plate. But hey, thank you for that Chicago win, baby.
Gosh, how do you keep coming here day after day if you're a hitter through the first month of the season? Here's Schwindel, who's 0 for 2. And it takes ball 1.
JD, I got to be honest with you. I pitched in a lot of ball games here. It evens out. It definitely evens out. Where there's any ball in the air. I mean, we've seen it in countless highlights where their ball's across the street almost, you know. So as much as they complain, it evens out.
Right. So you keep coming here because you know the summer's coming eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When it does, things turn. The flags literally.
And when you're a pitcher in a game like this, you feel like you have a little bit of leeway, especially with balls in the air. Pitch with a little more confidence, being more aggressive. I always pitch with the wind blowing out, though, so.
Every time.
Every time. Every single time, so.
October, too?
They saw a heavy dose of sinkers.
Was it blown out in your.
You know, every rotation has a hard luck guy, and I think I was the hard luck guy. But that's what I get for not having a deep dish pizza. You know,
right.
Maybe that's the karma.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. On the ground, past Freddie Freeman into right. Betts throws to third. It's offline. And Schwindel with his first hit of the day puts him at the corners with 2 out. First time the Cubs have had a runner in scoring position against Kershaw.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting by Schwindel, especially having the ball inner half and having enough strength to muscle it through the opposite of the shift, and Freddie giving a hell of an effort to try to knock that ball down. But this is a good piece of hitting, man, and sometimes you just have to tip your cap and focus on the next guy, but Clayton's still 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
It's Nico Hoerner coming up. He has 2 of the Cubs' 5 hits today.
And obviously, Nico's been the toughest at bat for Clayton, so at this point in the ball game, he's really going to have to dig deep. 3rd time around in the lineup. Attaboy.
Bouncer that stays fair. Turner across the diamond. That's the inning. 7 shutout innings from Clayton Kershaw. 5-0 to the 8th. Calendar, one more today. It'll be at 4:30 Pacific time. And then tomorrow, Walker Buehler goes for the Dodgers. Marcus Stroman for the Cubs. And Stroman in his first year here in Chicago, coming off 7 shutout innings his last time. Muncy cracks his bat. First pitch against Gesellman and pops out to the left side in VR. Walker Buehler 14 consecutive scoreless innings. Had the complete game shutout in Arizona. Followed that with 5 shutout innings his last time. That'll be Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow. 1 gone in the 8th. Here's Chris Taylor.
Last 2 starts, I felt like Walker mechanically is starting to get in tune and be comfortable. So you're seeing the mound presence come back slowly but surely. And when he's behind the baseball, man, that ball just takes off, and it's fun to watch. And he's another bulldog on the mound. Like, he takes it personal, and he feels like he can go up against any starter in baseball and go toe-to-toe, pitch for pitch with them. So he's fun to watch.
It's Tyler Anderson in game 2 tonight. Cubs are going to do a bullpen game. Speaking of the bullpen, Phil Bickford getting ready.
Love Bickford's fastball command. That's something that he talked to me about, taking pride of just following the mid and executing at it and setting up the nasty slider. So excited to see him come in the ball game. Another guy with great flow of the hair as well.
Oh yeah,
I'm definitely jealous. Can't even grow my hair out. Not a good look, JD.
What if you grew your hair?
Oh, not a good look.
2-2. Was it ever? Like, did you ever have a good?
Yeah, actually, my year I won 20 games, and a bunch of guys in the locker room were paying me to cut my hair, even though I was willing and dealing. They're like, Train, listen, you're on Sports Center with that. You look like a microphone, you know. The afro wasn't flowing for me.
Full count. You look like a microphone. Jeez. And now you're wearing one.
I love it, man. God is good. Get to cover one of the best organizations in sports, man. I'm truly blessed.
Check swing foul. Taylor has a base hit today, but a couple strikeouts.
Really difficult to hit the ball the other way, especially when you're a right-handed batter and you have a sinker bearing down on your hands.
Good take.
Good take.
And a 1-out walk for Taylor.
Not gonna lie, I would have swung at that.
Yeah. Well,
I would have swung at that. That was a well-executed changeup. CT, listen, man. Once you get a deal, you know, you get some cachet, it's like, I'll spin on that one. Yeah, let me take off my elbow guard. Nice try to trick me.
Runner at first for Bellinger. 0 for 3 today, 2 for his last 31. First one from Gesellman. Inside, Contreras, like he does more than anybody, throws down.
He is a big fan of his arm, and should be, because like Yadi Molina, they use that as a weapon, especially if they see their pitcher struggling, to try to steal an out.
Two 2-0.
I'd like to see Cody hit the ball the other way one time.
On a 2-0 pitch, he does. It sends Wisdom back. He's still going, and it's off his glove. Extra bases for Bellinger, as he does what Dontrelle wants. What'd you say? Needs me those? Is that, was it
we needs those. I need those. I needs those. Yeah.
You needs that, and you got it.
We need those on time, but great pass. You know what I mean? Stay behind the baseball. trusted his hands, and also you got to trust your power, man. This is a guy that has power to all fields, and when you're locked in and you understand how the pitcher's going to attack you, the hitter's an aggressor.
So Bellinger doubles, second and third for Barnes. Dodgers looking to widen the lead. The infield comes in for the Cubs as Barnes pulls a bullet into left center. That's a base hit. It'll drive home 2. It's 7-0, and Barnes has 3 of the runs batted in. Quite a day for Austin Barnes, who's caught 7 shutout innings from Clayton Kershaw. He's homered, and now he's got a 2-run single.
That's a nice day at the yard, huh?
I'd
you know
say.
what I mean? Get your foot down a couple times, you know. Doing a superb job game calling and catching behind the plate. So let me go to Outback Steakhouse one more time and give me a couple more ribbies, baby. Get that blooming onion.
Oh, mound visit and a word from SoCal Ford.
This Dodgers broadcast is brought to you by the 2022 Ford F-150 truck and your Southern California Ford dealer, where the future comes standard.
And now Gavin Lux, who is the only Dodger yet to reach in this game. Strike 1 on Lux. That might be the best one he sees.
Stay aggressive. I know Gsellman's going to be around the plate, so that can play into the hitter, especially if he makes a mistake in the heart of the plate.
They're in between there. Two out.
That's what you call a frustrating at bat. Sad to say, he felt like he was in between, wasn't seeing the movement late. Looked like he had a tough time picking up the baseball.
It was over quickly. Strikes him out on 3 pitches. Brings up Mookie Betts. 2 gone here in the 8th. Betts is 1 for 3 with a walk, but he's hit it hard all 3 times. Backhand play by VR to end the inning. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Dodgers get 2 more from Austin Barnes.
Doubleheader. It is all Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw was 7 scoreless. His battery mate, Jerry. Austin Barnes through the teeth of the wind.
That's why they call him the real AB, putting on the show.
These 2 guys will break it down. We'll see you coming up.
All right, guys, as Phil Bickford comes on to replace Kershaw. Bickford gave up the home run to Miguel Cabrera on Sunday, but his other 6 games, no runs.
Been absolutely outstanding in the what they call the bridge road, as far as not getting your plus guys up, especially in games where you feel like you have command, but still needing quality arms. So with this revamped spring training, it gave guys like Phil a chance to go and really establish themselves in the big leagues.
Face the bottom of the Cubs order here. Jonathan Villar to lead off. 0 for 2 today. So Kershaw goes 7 shutout innings. A little bit different today than we've seen. He had just 2 strikeouts, which was a season low. But this is in a ballpark where almost exactly 1 year ago had the shortest outing of his career. Chased from the game after 1 inning when he gave up 4 runs. Shuts him out over 7 today.
A lot of soft contact. I love that he was efficient. He got ahead and stayed ahead, and he used the whole plate. He wasn't just one-dimensional. And listen, when you make yourself unpredictable and you're able to throw strikes and be efficient, oftentimes or not, it's going to be a good day. You could tell I'm a rookie in the booth because I keep flinching on every foul ball that's coming back here right now. I'm just like jumping, trying to catch it with one hand.
What do you think, your ability to catch a ball leaves you when you enter a broadcasting booth? I think you'd be fine.
I think I'll be all right.
Yeah. Let's hope, because I ain't catching it.
My errors always came throwing, not catching the ball. I would get to the ball, but I might throw that ball down the street once in a while.
Bickford's 1-1 is up and away, ball 2. The veteran VR. It's in his first year with the Cubs. 10th year, 7th team that he's been with over those 10 years.
No matter what uniform he's in, he's always able to be defensively quality in any spot, whether it's shortstop or third base or sometimes even first base. Gives you a quality at bat at the plate as well.
Swings and misses at the high fastball. He's been a full-time starter just twice out of that decade. 2016 in Milwaukee. Led the majors with 62 stolen bases. And then in 2019 with the Orioles, he hit 29 home runs. So when he's had opportunities to be in there every day, he's done something exceptionally. On a 2-2 from Bickford, he swings and misses at the fastball. That high spin heater takes off on VR, 1 away in the 8th.
Celebrate Mexican Heritage Day and night at Dodger Stadium May 17th in a doubleheader versus the D-backs. 2 different games, 2 different jerseys, presented by Advance Auto Parts. This isn't a full stadium giveaway and only available at Dodger.com/Mexican Heritage or scan the QR code on the screen.
1 and 2 doubleheaders in this quick stretch. Dodgers starting today, playing 12 games in 10 days. So anytime you can get a start like Clayton Kershaw gave him today, extra big deal.
That's the beauty of having quality starters that can go deep in the ball game, because you don't have to use many guys to finish the ball game. And so it's fun to watch him so efficient. It's almost like Tom Glavine at the end of his career, where he didn't strike out as much, but he still was a quality starter in his Hall of Fame career.
Rafael Ortega pinch hitting. And he'll probably be in the lineup tomorrow with the righty Buehler on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Love watching Bickford throw, because he just throws the baseball with conviction. You know, it's just, here it is. This is my stuff. The velocity can be anywhere from 93 to 96 miles an hour, but the carry on that fastball, he throws through the target.
Says he's at his best when, and this is in his words, he rides the simple train.
Yeah. Nice little slider right there.
1 and 2. And the Dodgers have let him do that from the day that he got here early on last season. He sat down with Mark Pryor and Brandon Gomes and back and forth discussion about what he does well. And they listened to him. They gave him some feedback and said, basically, look, those things you do well, do more of that. Let's narrow the things down and just do what you do well. And he's hopped on that simple train and taking a nice ride. Strike 3. Like a house by the side of the road. A fastball is by him. 2 out.
It's truly fun to watch a guy be mechanically in tune, and right when you lock in, you can feel that fastball coming off your fingertips, and you're like, that's it right there. So executing that 4-seam at a high level.
A couple defensive changes behind Bickford, by the way. As Dave Roberts gets a few of his guys off their feet before the second game today. Lux is at short. You saw Hanser Alberto at second. And Edwin Rios is in the game at first.
I was messing with Evan Rios as far as telling him that I have more power than he does. And he loved that, you know, because he's a guy that has light tower power, and always seeing when he gets good at bats and quality of bats, he can put him in the seats with the best of them.
Madrigal, who's 0 for 2, is behind 0-2. Bickford just pounding the zone.
And see, that's what happens when you're efficient in the zone. You get those 50-50 calls. And we saw with Drew Smyly early in the ball game, because he was erratic. If it's hair close here, you're definitely not going to get the calls you want to.
They struck out VR, struck out Ortega. Facing a guy here at Madrigal who's been one of the toughest players in baseball to strike out since he debuted in 2020. Although this year striking out much more than ever before. On an 0-2, he takes in the dirt, ball 1.
Love that call by Barnsey, just to change velocity, change look. He throws that ball more on the plate. I think he gets offered at it.
The 1-2. Up the middle, Trey Turner. Madrigal really runs, but Turner gets him. And a 1-2 3/8 for Phil Bickford. Day of first for you, Dontrell. Your first Dodger broadcast.
Absolutely.
How about your first deep dish pizza?
How about that?
Huh?
All the love to Chicago, one of my favorite cities. Man, this smells like you're going to put me to sleep, JD. You might have to call the game by yourself,
You got
Big
like
Daddy.
9 hours before the next game, so I think you can take a nap.
That
Seriously,
looks good.
if you happen to just tune in, this guy's never had deep dish pizza.
I have to get out more. I have to get out more, man. I'm a guy that stays on my same food path. You know, my taste buds are very particular, but this looks amazing. So as much as I love deep dish pizza, I think I need a fork for this one because this looks serious, like Clayton Kershaw's pitching today.
Hey, wow. This guy. 7 shutout innings from him. Then he got the 8th from Phil Bickford. And on to the 9th here as the Dodgers try to grow this lead against Sean Newcomb. Hanser Alberto, first at bat of the day. He takes a strike.
Love Alberto, especially what he brings to the team. Hits lefties very well. And you already seen him establish himself as one of the guys on the bench that brings a lot of joy and a lot of energy. So I think he already understands his role and how he's going to be effective on his ball club.
You need those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I tried to be that guy on teams. You know, it's tough to do that when you're on the mound every 5th day, but you know, you always need those guys, especially this long, grueling season, man. There's nothing like it in sports but our season.
Yeah, and the other thing, besides just being a fun personality, over the last 3 years, he's the #1 hitter in baseball against left-handed pitching, at least in terms of average, .358. So, yeah, it's cool that he's a good guy, but he can also play.
Be productive as well, and he's already established that he can hit lefties on this team already, but you see that pass. Some guys just fit other guys' eyes, and then what I mean by that is the arm angle, the release point, things like that. So he just seems comfortable. And he's aggressive, and that's one thing you need, a guy to be able to come off the bench and hit the ground running.
Hey, so are you going to eat the pizza? Or?
I got to try this, man, because this looks
you might need a knife.
serious, though. This looks.
So you got the fork. There's a knife.
This crust. Oh my goodness!
Alberto down, swinging
though.
one away.
All right, we're getting into it. Oh, this.
It's an interesting place to go for.
And,
What do we think?
Oh my!
Welcome.
I've been sleeping. This is delightful. I'm sorry, Dodger fans, but your boy Trent got to eat a little bit. I think we got the game in hand right now. Sorry about that.
That's what we do, huh? You
right.
get a 7-0 lead to eat deep dish pizza.
This is a show, baby.
Welcome
this
to
is
the
Dodgers
road.
at his finest, man.
Edwin Rios takes the ball. So, yeah, we do this every day.
Oh, you
once
got to
it gets
live the
out of hand, we
life,
bring
man.
you food and you eat it on camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, on that flight here, I haven't been on a charter flight in a long time since I played. I mean, the flow of ice cream sandwiches is nothing I've ever seen. I was like, this is
this on the right. Suzuki battling the sun. He's got it. So you've been, you know, you spent a decade plus in the big leagues, but that was big leagues.
This is
right?
show.
Yeah.
Like, this is show. I mean, the staff was friendly. I mean, I had an aisle seat. I think my arm was getting bumped because they were walking up and down with snacks and chips and drinks. I mean, I felt lucky, and I turned to my good friend Aaron Bates, assistant hitting coach, and I said, man, is this how it is? He's like, bro, this is Dodgers at its finest. So I truly feel honored to be a part of this great organization.
1 ball, no strikes on Justin Turner, who had his hardest hit of the year. A 2-run double in the 5th inning. Hardest hit ball.
Talked about that early in the ball game, though. He's going to start squaring up some baseballs. I like the takes, like the swing path right now.
Kirsten told us that Justin Turner will DH in the 2nd game. Max Muncy will be in the lineup at 3rd. On a 2-1 pitch, he lifts it in the air to center field, hit it hard again, but got under it. This time it's Hermosillo. Wow. Or Ortega, who's into the game for Hermosillo. Oh my goodness. Look at that. His first deep dish pizza. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's $5.99 popcorn chicken combos with 100% all white meat chicken and Jack's Good sauce. Order now in the Jack app or have it delivered. Bottom of the 9th inning, Reyes Maranta on to try and get the last 3 outs with the Dodgers in command.
Maranta's fastball is his key. He can run that velocity up anywhere from 94 to 97 miles an hour. Wipe out slider as well. So excited to see him in the game and get some work.
Well, the Dodgers have scattered the scoring throughout the day. They got 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Kind of relentless attack that you figure you'll see a lot of this year. 7-0 to the bottom of the 9th inning. Top of the order, Wilson Contreras, who's 0 for 3. And he takes ball 1 from Maranta.
Balanced lineup and trusted lineup. Production at the top as well as the bottom of the lineup. So you're going to see a lot of ball games like this where all of a sudden you see a couple innings of lulls and they'll break out and put a couple crooked numbers up like they did. Oh,
that one got him. Contreras wants to hit. Instead, he gets hit.
Fastball just gets away from Mo right there. When you're a pitcher, sometimes when you hit the ground and your front shoulder gets a little bit quick, the hand can't catch up to get on top of the baseball, and it runs away to your arm side, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Leadoff man aboard for the Cubs. Here's Suzuki. He reached twice against Kershaw today. Walked in the 1st inning, singled in the 4th. After 9 years dominating in Japan, it took him 1 pitch in the majors to say, wow, that's new. First guy that he faced, Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burns on opening day. First pitch that Burns threw him was his cutter. And he said the force and the movement of the pitch was simply something I had never seen. But he singled and he walked, and it became a successful but very eye-opening first day on the new job.
And a really good experience for him because it let him know this is the level that I'm going to face. And being one of the best players on the Cubs, you're going to get everyone's nastiest pitch, nastiest effort as well. So it's fun to watch him see development in that type of pitch. In fairness to him, a lot of people don't hit Corbin Burns' cutter. So, you know, don't be too hard on yourself on that pitch.
Wild pitch moves Contreras into scoring position. You were talking earlier about how the Cubs already really like the guy, right? They really like the personality. There's a story from his time in Japan where his team was really struggling, and he was struggling too. He strikes out for the 3rd time in the game, goes down into the tunnel and starts freaking out, throwing his bat, screaming, making a bunch of noise. Once he has everybody's attention, he looks up and starts laughing.
Right. Yeah.
He just wanted to lighten the mood for everybody.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of guy that he is. And his next time up, by the way, that night, after 3 strikeouts, he hit the game-winning home run.
How about that?
On a 2-2 pitch here, he watches. Strike 3. Fastball right to the corner.
Mo is pulling a Dontrelle Willis being effectively wild. You know, and Suzuki had no idea where that ball was going to go. He didn't know what pitch, what zone to look for. So that's definitely what we like to call an uncomfortable bat. Yeah, I had one of those instances where I was struggling, haven't won a game in about a month and a half, 2 months. Come into the locker room and I go in my shower fully dressed and everyone just looks at me and I start scrubbing my uniform while I'm in the shower and everyone just starts dying laughing. So, you know, and that wasn't just for me, that was for my team, because like the same situation that you just told about Suzuki, like our team was struggling, you know, your ace is struggling. So sometimes you forget, you know, under these bright lights it's still a child's game and you have to have fun.
Alfonso Rivas pinch hitting with 1 gone here in the 9th. Pinch hitting for Yan Gomes out of the 3 spot. What uniform was that in? I'm trying to get a good visual.
The Marlins uniform. So we were ragtag, you know, down there. You know you're in trouble when Dontrelle Willis is your captain of the team. You know what I mean? But good times down there in South Florida with me and Miguel Cabrera and a bunch of other talented guys.
Yes, I was trying to get a good visual of you in the shower.
Well, I just met you, but you know, we'll see down the line. You know. But that's the quirkiness of baseball when you're around guys for a long time, and how do you stay loose and how do you have fun, you know?
Around them for a long time and around them every single day.
Right.
Check swing, 2-2.
You really develop a bond and a brotherhood and a trust, you know, and that's when the game gets fun, especially when a team is good like the Dodgers and has a lot of expectation. You can lean on each other, man, especially when one guy is not struggling or what have you.
Full count.
Rivas seems to not be honoring that changeup. I think it's just a couple ball lengths down. If Mo is able to get that ball knee high, still a strike with that changeup.
1 away in the 9th inning. Here he comes and misses away. A couple base runners for the Cubs here in the 9th. Take a look at the play of the game, brought to you by your Southern California Volkswagen dealers. Austin Barnes with his 3rd home run of the year on a day where I don't think either of us thought this was going to happen. He did it. Hit it out against the wind. Sweet. And with a lot to spare.
Let me tell you something. Sweet swing, went about 7 rows up. Easy money. Told Mookie Betts and the rest of the company, get on my train, baby. That's how we do it.
The A train. Patrick Wisdom hit it hard all 3 times, but nothing to show for it.
Good pitch.
Swing and a miss there.
Dave Roberts has done a phenomenal job this season getting the right guys matched up and allowing guys to get work in, because there's been a lot of blowouts so far in the season, so it's tough.
Yeah, the Dodgers, Dontrelle, 10-2 in games decided by 4+ runs, 3-5 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. Tuesday night against San Francisco was what so far has been a rare win in a tight game, but a lot of laughers that they've come out on the right side of. Moranta's 1-1. Foul back 1-2.
With this lineup depth, though, you can see the blue avalanche coming. You know what I mean? Like, guys are starting to feel off each other, get rhythm, quality of bat after quality of bat. A couple balls are squared up, a couple balls in the seats. All of a sudden, there's a crooked number. We saw that on Wednesday night in the Giants game. So you're going to see it. It's going to be tough to ask this ball club to play in close games. Yeah. And work on that, you know.
Yeah, don't be quite so good.
Yeah, right.
Only be sort of good.
Right.
2 on with 1 gone here in the ninth. Maranta trying to preserve the shutout. A check swing and the count evens up. 7 innings from Kershaw today. 1 inning from Phil Bickford. 1, 2, 3. And now Maranta trying to finish things off. Dodgers are looking to, for the 20th time in their first 24 games, give up 3 or fewer runs. That is just absurd.
There was a tone in spring training about leaning on the pitching staff and allowing the key guys in the rotation to develop and really work on getting to their strengths and their velocity and their comfortability. So it's all hands on deck down there in that bullpen, and you're seeing guys like Vesia and Phillips fired up to get in the ring. You see Justin Brule right there, another guy. They want the role, they want to factor, and they're enjoying it thus far.
Popped up. Wind and sun, both factors, both the left side of the infield, and Gavin Lux will make the catch. Cubs are down to their last out.
Love Gavin being aggressive on that play. Seeing JT kind of swirl under it, not finding his legs under the ball, and taking priority off of that ball. I appreciate you, bro. Deep dish on me. That's what he's saying
Is
right
that
now.
what he I'm on with D-Trains, guy.
Absolutely.
Now, one more of these matchups coming up tonight. 4:30 Pacific. Tyler Anderson for the Dodgers. Bullpen game coming for the Cubs. Dodgers will be looking for their 5th consecutive win. Frank Schwindel takes ball 1 from Maranta. The Cubs on the verge of their 6th loss out of their last 7. Their 12th out of their last 15. Now, what was an encouraging start to the year has spiraled down quickly.
Well, as you see, the reason why right now, offensive productivity has gone down tremendously. They have a lot of holes in their lineup right now, and a lot of guys trying to find themselves. And then you go up against the buzzsaw and Clayton Kershaw. That was efficient today. So it's a tough goal for David Ross's crew.
Well, we mentioned it earlier. I won't talk about it again tonight, but they had the 21 runs against the Pirates. 19 in 10 games since.
Yeah, there's highs and lows in this game.
You know the guys on that Saturday afternoon were saying,
they were
jokingly,
rolling.
Save it.
Yeah,
Save a few, right?
Same seats as we say, you know.
Because it was 21-0. Kyle Hendricks pitched a shutout.
I thought it was a glitch on my phone when I saw it.
It's the 3rd largest shutout win in baseball history.
You thought it was Bears Steelers or something like that, you know. Pitch.
3-1. Maranta has struggled with command in this inning. Hit the first man. He's walked 1 and now falls behind Schwindel. 3-1. He tries to get the last out. Dave Roberts would love to not have to go to another piece with another game coming today.
And it would be their 3rd shot out of the season. So, you know, something you look forward to, especially when you're a pitching staff.
3-2. It's a strike away now. There you are, flinching again, and a ball fouled back this way. Look, I've been in this chair for 7 years. We haven't had a single ball come in the booth.
Come on!
So if
I want to be on TV catching the ball and helping my man JD. You know what I mean? Spider-Man.
If it doesn't happen, we just put you on camera and let you eat deep dish pizza. So
you don't know how many texts I've already gotten behind that. So first world problems.
Here it comes. In the air, short right field. Mookie Betts coming on, still coming. He's there. And the Dodgers win the first game of the doubleheader, 7-0.
Just a beautiful game from the guys over there, man. Played clean, had timely base hits, had production from top to bottom in the lineup. And oh yeah, Clayton Kershaw threw another quiet gem.
Yep. Well-rounded 7-0 win for the Dodgers. Had the offense scattered throughout from all over the order. Kershaw dominated. Bickford with a scoreless 8th. Maranta with a scoreless 9th. And the Dodgers with a 4th consecutive win. For Dontrell Willis, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Wrigley Field, but talk to you in just a few hours. Time to go get some more deep dish pizza. Maybe some, what else they got here? There you go. Get some Italian beef as well. Just going to be a great afternoon.